Hello, I'm Matt from Ludo-Chrono, and today I'm going to give you an overview of Valhalla. So Valhalla is a brawling game with dice in the Viking universe. So it is a game for 2 to 6 players, ages 13 and up, and it plays for 30 to 60 minutes. So in this game you're going to be a clan of Vikings, and especially a Jarl, and you want to be the last king of the Vikings. And you do that by having the most glory, and you acquire that glory by winning battles and sending your brave, glorious warriors into Valhalla. The problem is that if that gives you victory points, that also makes you lose warriors every time you win a battle. This is kind of difficult, but you have to get accustomed to it, since Valhalla is all about battling your opponents and taking away their shields if you win. So you win by having the most points, which are shields and also the cards you send. Every player is going to have a player board, 4 shields, a starting warrior, and also a Jarl, which has a special power. You may have a lot of Jarls to choose from, and this is just a way to influence your playstyle. You are also going to have a hand of Vikings and cards to play. So how do we play this game? We are going to play it over the course of several turns, game turns. Every player is going to play until the end of the game, which happens either if the central deck is empty or if a player has no more shield tokens. That triggers the end game. So a game turn is made of 2 phases. The first phase is an action phase, the second one a draw phase. During the action phase, you may perform 1 out of 4 actions. The first action you can perform is playing a Viking. If you play a Viking, you just lay it out on your board. You have a limited space of 4 Vikings. You may have the possibility of placing 2 Vikings instead of placing 1 if they have less than total 3 shields. Because the shields are basically what you require with your dice to activate them. You can also draw, so you draw 2 cards, choose one to keep, discard the other, and the final action that you can perform is battling an opponent. To enter battle, you select an opponent and say, okay, I want to battle you, I want to put you to the test. I'm going to choose yellow in this case. I'm going to roll my 6 battle dice, and then I may use rerolls. To use rerolls, you are going to forgo 1 dice, and then you can re-roll all or any of the dice. It's up to you. The dice are going to have critical failures, but also weapon symbols, and the weapon symbols are going to be specifically required to activate some of your Vikings. So for example, in this case, I have like 2 shields. I only need 1 for my Vikings, so I'm going to reroll 1 shield. I don't need a spear, so I'm going to reroll this, and then I can choose to re-roll again if I wish to do so. So once I have done that, I can play my battle tactics. Battle tactics are cards which are not Vikings. They are going to provide me with a bonus. For instance, this one gives me +2 attack, and then I can move on to equipping weapons arming my Viking force. So for example, I'm going to arm this one with a shield and a sword like required, and that's it. I have no other weapon than shields and swords, and I would probably be able to activate this ice giant though. So then my force is tallied, and then we can move on to the defender phase. He does the same 4 phases, basically rolling, re-rolling, playing battle tactics, and then arming his or her warriors. All of the Vikings are not the same. You might have bonuses for having Vikings of a certain clan. So for example, this one gets points if you attack people with green Vikings. Some are better if you have a lot of Vikings of one clan or another clan. The ice giants are going to remove dice from the defender, etc, etc. So let's imagine my opponent manages, for example, with their dice to activate these 2 Vikings. They have 5 strength. I also have 5 strength, but I have the battle tactic, which gives me +2 strength, so I have 7. I win this battle. Winning this battle means that I'm going to take a shield, which is worth a certain number of victory points at the end of the game. but that means that my warriors will go to Valhalla and also give me victory points while leaving me a bit open for the rest of the game. So the defender, if they had won, could also have sent their people to Valhalla. Actually, only the winner gets to do so. The loser of the battle doesn't get to send their warriors to Valhalla. So once you have performed your action of your turn, you're going to draw like I did. You draw 2 cards and you choose one to keep and discard the other and move on to the next turn. So we are going to play like this until the end game, which is triggered either if the deck is empty or if a player has no more shield tokens. So the shield tokens are worth a certain number of victory points, which depend on the number of players. Because if you play with many players, they reward you more if you have sets of different colors. Once the endgame is triggered, you have a final round, which is the Ragnarok. And in Ragnarok, you just try to arm your warriors to send them to the Valhalla. If you manage to do so, you just battle, it's just an endless brawling, which is going to be glorious anyways. So at the end of the game, you tally your points, your shields, the Valhalla warriors, which have values here, and the highest score wins. You know everything about the base mode of Valhalla, but it has other game modes, it has a lot of expansions. So Valhalla is a game in which you want to take advantage of the powers of your Vikings, of your Jarl, of your battle tactics, so you need to synergize everything. But at the same time, if you win your battle, be cautious about people getting revenge. That's it, bye bye, and see you on LudoVox.fi.